All right. Well, welcome to the last Topical Tuesday of 2020. We are not going to meet the very last week before break. I think we all can agree that that's probably best. But for today, we are going to be talking about Destiny Collections. If you haven't yet signed in, please do so on the forum. All right. If you haven't muted your microphone, please mute your microphone. And we're going to use the Q&A feature today since I am presenting solo and Holly Ann is obviously not here with me. We're going to use the Q&A feature. It'll help me keep track of any questions. So if you click on the triangle, square, and circle option in Google Meet, you'll see the Q&A. I've turned it on, and that will help me see the order that questions come in on. And we can, of course, utilize the chat feature as well. But if you could throw questions in the Q&A, that would be really helpful. All right, let me exit out of here, and we're going to go into collections. So Destiny Collections is really a useful tool that we can use to lesson plan. We can use it to collaborate with teachers. It's very similar to Pearl Trees or to Wakelet, but with Destiny Collections, we have access to our books. And we can add the books in our collection to our Destiny Collections, making it a super powerful tool for teaching. So to get to collections, you're going to go to Catalog, and then in Destiny Discover. Now I'm using Seminole Trails because I'm still library administrator there, and with my district accesses, we don't have access to the collections. So I'm going to click on this link to get to collections, or I can use the hamburger menu and click collections. Once we're inside collections, we have several tabs. We have our featured. These are things put out there by Follett, and featured collections that Follett is featuring, created by educators. I click see all. You can see any of the featured ones. Public are any of the collections that have been made public. Here we're going to see the ones from Seminole Trails. These are ones that have been made public for the school district of Palm Beach County. At the elementary level, we're only going to see the elementary ones, or public collections. These are ones made by educators across the country, and you are free to use, explore. If I click see all, you can find out how other people across the country are using collections. I apologize for my slow internet connection. My husband is working from home again, and he's on a virtual meet as well. But you can see all of the collections that people have made from across the country that they have made public. You'll see the collections that are available at your school, and then you have the private tab. These are collections that you're working on that you may not be ready to make public, or ones you just don't want to make public. So I worked this morning and made a collection on Rosa Parks to show you some of the ways that we can use this. Today is, and I chose Rosa Parks because today is the 65th anniversary of Rosa refusing to give up her seat on the bus. So that is today in history, and I thought that would be a cool moment to share with everyone. You can see I've added some books from my collection, as well as some other resources. So I've got the Rosa Parks Museum. I've got stuff from the Library of Congress. I have this webpage, which I thought was fascinating. And it's the Henry Ford Museum. It's entirely about the bus. These are great resources to share with our students. Another one that I really thought was fascinating. From the Library of Congress, we have the photo of Rosa Parks being fingerprinted. And then an actual picture of her fingerprints. So these are all resources we can share with our students. The neat thing about collections, as I come back up, is that you can also pop in standards. So I decided that this would be a lesson for 4th and 5th grade, and you can see that I popped in my social studies standards for 4th grade and 5th grade. So this is a great way to lesson plan. It is a great way to collaborate with teachers if they tell you what standard they're working on. It's a great way to have your lessons all in one place. I thought it's really useful, particularly if you're doing a lesson with a lot of links. It's all in your Destiny. You always have Destiny open. And then you have books that you can share with your students. So how to create your collections. I'm going to go back to, and then of course, sorry, before I do that, you can share it. Right now, I have no sharing on. I can make it anyone with the link can view, or anyone with the link can edit. So if you would like to collaborate with a teacher on a collection, you absolutely can. Or I could add people. I can do it by person. I can create a PDF. And I can also add to Google Classroom once I've made it public. I'm going to go back to my collections. So to create a collection, you're going to do this on your private tab. You're going to simply click plus. You can choose your visibility, but you can change it at any time. So if I want it to be private only, I can see it. I leave it as private. I can make it anyone at my school can see. I can make it anyone in the district can see, and I can then make it public, anyone else can see. We're just going to do a demo. And I'm going to make this private. I can edit this. I can edit it if I want to go back. I can add grade levels. If I wanted to make it 9th and 10th grade, I can click save. Back in and edit. I can change the image. So I wanted it to be this. And I want my color to be gray. Super easy. To add an item, I simply click plus. I can add a URL. So if I'm going to do history, let's say I want the US Constitution. And I want to have the Constitution of the United States from the archives. I search what I want. I get the URL. I can copy it. I can add the URL by pasting it. I can decide if it's appropriate for all users or not. Let's say yes. If I turn it off, it's for instructor use only. I can click add. And whoever views my collection will have this. And then they can also follow these links. So it's going to take me back out into Destiny. And it's going to search collections for me based on the US Constitution. But if I go to books, it's going to also search my books. So now I have the Constitution of the United States. If I want to add that, I click more details and click collection and choose which one I want. We'll add this as well. And let's say we're going to add the Bill of Rights. It's also gone and searched websites. So we have all of these. This is our, it's a safe search. We could add any of these. Let's say I'm going to add the Annenberg Guide to the Constitution. And we're going to add Citizenship Day. And then we also have databases. I think that may come up. But I'm going to go back into my collections. I'm going to go back to the private and go into this demonstration. So you can see I've got everything here. I've added something twice. So if I want to get rid of it, I just delete it. Super easy. But now I'm going to change my grades. I'm going to say that this is a 5th grade collection because they're going to be studying US history. We're going to get rid of 9th and 10th, and we're going to say 5th grade and save. And if I just click on my standards and I click 5th grade, I'm going to get my 5th grade social studies standards. I'm going to click on my civics and government, foundations of government. I'm going to add that. Civic and political participation, structures and functions of government. So I know when I come to this collection that these are the standards that this collection is going to cover. I'm going to say that anyone with the link can view. And I can share it in a number of ways. I can email it, I can copy it and paste it in an email, or I can add it directly to a Google Classroom. It will open up my classrooms. And I'm going to, let's see if I've got one that I can add it to. Some of these are classes that people have shared with me. I'll just do this. And I'm going to create, I can do the same thing, create an assignment, ask a question, make an announcement. So I'm going to click go. And I've got my resources to share. And I can choose who sees it and click post. There's so very many ways we can use our collections. I think it's a really powerful tool. It's great that it's built right into Destiny for us. And in that way, I think it's somewhat easier to use than Pearl Trees or some spacing on it, Wakelet. Different strokes for different folks, but I really like this. I went through that pretty quickly. Are there any questions anybody has about collections? Anything I could answer? Ways that you wondered if you could use it? Just go ahead and pop them into the Q&A. And if you haven't signed in yet, please do so. I'll put the link back in. I do like the ability to change things. I really do like the ability to, if I edit this, right now it's private, I'm going to say anyone at my school can see. And once I click save, when I come back here to collections, anyone at Seminole Trails can now see this demonstration collection. And I really do like the ability to edit things, that you can tag things, you could add new tags. So if you wanted to tag things easily, you could do that. And I like that I can make it for instructor use only. So there may be some resources I want to share with my students and have them in the same collection, but and there are some resources that I don't want them to see as well. So I can make those resources for me only. They'll see only what I want them to see. And it's really customizable. You can change your view. And you can sort it by most recent title or material type. You can also add things which I didn't demonstrate. I'm going to click the plus to add another item. You could add a playlist. You could upload things directly from your Drive or from OneNote. You can add other collections. So if I wanted to add my diversity collection to this, I can add that collection to it. I can also import my lists. So if you have a resource list that you've created, you can import those lists directly into a collection. If I click this, I would be able to add that first grade exemplar list, and that will be a part of my collection. All right, and that is collections. teachers or students should be able to create collections. How do you insert ISTE standards? If you go back into my collection and I go to the standards, these are the standards that you can add. These are the ones that are there. I don't believe they have ISTE standards here. I don't believe they have the American Association of School Librarians standards here. But you could add gifted standards, special skills, English language arts, language and literacy. All of these standards are here for you to add. Will it pull out the book titles in Destiny that are in the library already? Yes. When you're in collections and you're searching the catalog, you'll get only your books. So if you're going to search in Destiny Discover, if I'm searching the Constitution, it tells me all of the books at the Seminole Trails Library that are in my collection. If I wanted to add Alexander Hamilton, I simply click on the cover, more details, add to collection, and choose my collection. And that it's only going to search your school. So any list that you've created that are books in your school, and when you create a list, there are books in your school, they are going to be popping in. So if you have those lists, those resource lists that you want to add to a collection, easy enough to do. And as Deb pointed out, you could add documents. So you could create the page of standards and add that document, but you can't pop the standards in the way that I did with the social studies standards. It's really primarily used as an academic tool. So you're going to be adding your English language arts standards, possibly your social study, and possibly your science standards. Any other questions I can answer about collections? It's one of my favorite tools. It's super powerful. I love it for the option on the left that I'm showing. So you click on the hamburger menu. This is what brings that up. The 3 lines will bring that up. And then you'll see this menu. It's also where you get to your Back to Destiny back office. It's where you can also customize your Destiny Discover. As you can see, I customized Destiny Discover for Seminole Trails. You can see I added a video. I added some learning links. Let's say I wanted to add this America's Story to my collection. It's there. But I think it's a very, very powerful tool, one that's great for collaboration, because if you're able to invite a teacher, teachers can add their resources. So if you are collaborating with a teacher on a lesson on the Constitution or information literacy, you can create this collection that's available to you and to that teacher with their standards, and then be able to collaborate. Any other questions about collections that I can answer? I know I went very fast. It's a fairly easy tool to use, but one that I really think is worth exploring some. And it's nice just to be able to have your lessons in one place, all of your materials in one place. You don't have to worry about it working in the network because, of course, Destiny is approved. And I love the ability to integrate it with the Google Classroom. And then you're training your students to use Destiny. You can create collections of books for them. You can create all kinds of collections for them, things that you want them to see, and add them to your Google Classrooms. It's really a great way to interact with your students and share with them the knowledge you would like them to have. And it's a great way to teach them Destiny Discover, because of course that's where they're putting their books on hold if you are circulating books. So Michelina, you weren't able to get into Destiny. That's the first I'm hearing of that. I hadn't heard of anyone having trouble today. If you still have trouble tomorrow, let me know, and I will get with IT, and we will see if we can get that fixed. Oh, it may have gone down, but I'm glad it's back on. I think technology is great when it works, and it's an issue when it doesn't. Yep, the Lightbox books and the ebooks. Destiny Discover is a powerful tool for your students. I think it's a much easier way for them to access Destiny. So we must have had Destiny must have been down for the end of the day. Clearly it's back up. If it ever goes down, please just email me. I will see what I can do about getting back up. The whole internet was down. So, there are things that are beyond our control, but when we do have issues, we try to get them running as quickly as we can. Are the public collections we can see only from our district? No, they are not. So I'm going to go back into the collections. It'll tell you the ones that are school district of Palm Beach County. If I click see all, we can see all of the collections that are at the school district of Palm Beach County. There are quite a few people have been using it, which is great. And as it's taking a minute, ones that are truly public will show back up on there it goes. My internet is kind of slow. I don't believe there is a way to block professional materials showing up in student searches, unfortunately. I would teach your students not to put anything with PRO on hold. If they do, you can just simply delete that hold. They really don't want that. They're just putting it on hold to put it on hold. So you can see there's some really great collections from across the country. Those of you that follow Shannon McClintock-Miller, she makes lots of collections. So the resources she shares on Facebook in the Future Ready Librarian, she also then shares as a collection. I know, Amy, it's a constant battle. But here you can see collections from across the country. This person created a project lit. It's for grades 6 through 12. She tagged it subjects, English language arts and literacy, and she's got all of the books that she has in her library that are on the project lit list. Any other questions I can answer about Destiny, about collections? The whole district went down at 120. I'm surprised I did not hear from my child to tell me that the district went down. He usually tells me that. What else you can see? And then you can search. You can filter them. Come on. I can filter them by, if I want to search 5th grade collections on digital citizenship. These are the digital citizenship collections that people have created around the country. Not sure why Christmas is coming up, but the easiest way to share books. Teachers want to be able to put the books in their, hang on, let me get to that, in their Google Classrooms. I don't believe you can put the books in the Google Classroom. However, if they create a collection, they can put the collection of books in the Google Classroom and it'll drive them right back to that collection in Destiny. So I think your best bet for sharing books would be to put them in Google Classrooms or in a collection, then put that collection in a Google Classroom. Particularly if you're using Follett ebooks, you can do that. If your Mac and Via ebooks are showing up, you could also add them to collections. So I think the best way to share books with students in their Google Classrooms is through the Destiny collection. But it's a challenge. I know this year is a challenge. You guys have been so amazing. I love that you are rolling with the punches and trying new things and moving way outside your comfort zones. If you haven't seen, if you are Title I, I just wanted to make sure that I shared with you, and I know I emailed it out before Thanksgiving, but the Laura Bush grant is open. So Title I schools look into the Laura Bush grant for libraries. For the past couple of years, it's been for disaster relief. It is back to a regular library grant now. So I would highly recommend looking into that Laura Bush grant. So with that, please continue to tag us on Twitter. We love, love, love seeing everything that's going on in your libraries. I love seeing the amazing creative things that you are doing. If you guys haven't seen, I'm going to call Debbie Tanner out. She did an amazing project in the parks of Delray Beach, and she had books put on signs, and she made a story walk. Channel 5 did a story on her. It's amazing. The creativity I have seen from you guys this year has been nothing short of phenomenal. It amazes me every day, every day. If you want points for this course, register in e-learning. There is a course with the title Topical Tuesday. There's only one follow-up activity. It is a reflection. Super easy to do. You can earn up to, I believe it is 14 points for this year. And our next Topical Tuesday, like I said, will be January 12th. We are going to skip the last week before break and take a week off when we come back so everyone can get their bearings, and we will jump in on January 12th. We have an Adobe training this Friday from 8:30 to 11. We are doing that in conjunction with the art department. Tanya Averith is doing that training. I can't recommend that enough. Tanya is amazing. She's going to share all kinds of ways to use Adobe Spark with your students. If you haven't already gotten Adobe Creative Educator Level 1 certified, you will be able to leave with that certification as well. If you have already gotten that certification, now is the time you can get some points for that. So I highly recommend that. It will be a wonderful morning of learning. Of course, not mandatory, but I hope to see many of you in that training as well. So I look forward to seeing you guys after the new year or on Friday. And have a great